we are in the entrance corridor to the Frieze Art Fair, and this is where you queue up to get in. And as you wait, the corridor is lined with all these portraits on the wall, and they're part of a project by the artist Ryan Gander. And yesterday he snuck up to me and took my photograph while I was looking at one of the works in the fair. The only problem is the company I'm keeping on this wall. And next to me is Nicholas Serota, chief pornographer of the Tate Gallery, an inscrutable looking individual and the world's most wanted, or perhaps the world's least wanted. Who knows? Quite a lot of the work at this year's Frieze Art Fair reflects the financial crisis. And here we have "Long live and thrive capitalism" emblazoned in a banner on the wall, and beneath it some gold bars on the floor. Last year everyone was in shock about the financial meltdown. This year things are getting a little bit better. But as people say, $5,000 is the new $50,000. Okay, we're at Team Gallery, a New York gallery, but they're showing a British artist, Dawn Mellor. And this is a portrait of Julie Christie. Not looking quite at her best, I don't think. And in fact, the whole gallery is full of paintings of famous female actresses who've all seen better days. It does remind me a bit of the Chapmans, I must admit. And here is a sculpture by the artist Miroslav Balka, who has, of course, just opened his project for the Turbine Hall at Tate Modern. And it's a coffin set up on a chair and a stool, an ashtray and a chair. Well, who said art was dead? One doesn't always think that you're going to get the most hard and the most dour and the most difficult and serious art at art fairs, but you do. And Miroslav's installation here really does stop you in your tracks. Okay, this is an installation by the British artist Conrad Shawcross, and it's a bit like standing inside an animated Sol LeWitt with these optical cubes lit from the inside, and well, a bit like the TARDIS, isn't it? Should be serious, really, shouldn't I? There are one or two impromptus that go on, or things that happen in the fair that you're not really going to know about. And one of them is at a Portuguese gallery where a couple of times a day an unsuspecting visitor seems to show up and take off their shirt. And then walk sedately out of the building. We're at Frith Street Gallery in front of the beautiful drawing by Tacita Dean, and even more beautiful Jane Hamlin, the gallerist. So how's it going? How's it going?
Very well actually. We had an incredibly busy day yesterday.
That's the preview day.
Lots of really interesting collectors and museum people. We've got lots of things on hold, a few sales, so if everything comes through that we've got on hold, we'll do very well.
That's great. You weren't expecting it, presumably.
Well, last year we thought it was going to be a disaster and we did incredibly well, so hopefully this year...
Are you telling me the truth, Jane?
I am,
Are you sure?
Adrian, I am.
These are the paintings of Peter Halley, who was very big in the 1980s. He still is quite big and shiny and bright, but the work hasn't moved an inch. One of the things at the fair is there's quite a lot of work that looks like other people's work. And when I first saw this, I thought, that must be one of those regurgitated lumps of goo by Anish Kapoor. But no, this is a sculpture that actually comprises computer mice and a little computer, and it's a little homunculously sort of man, and it's a very, very poor joke in my view, and it's the sort of thing an oligarch might have in his living room. We're in Club Nuts, where there are happy hours, and if you tell a joke, you get a free drink. So I'm going to tell a very quite quick joke. Just 1 second. I say, my dog's got no nose. How does he smell? Bleeding awful. Ba-bam! Where's my drink?
Club Nuts it's an actual place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's the world's smallest comedy club. So what we did is we transplanted Club Nuts from Milwaukee to London.
Okay. And are you the world's smallest comedian then?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Got you there, didn't I? This is a Tapestry by Grayson Perry. And it's a whole cycle of life, birth and death in leafy Walthamstow, the London borough, quite a long way psychologically from the Frieze Art Fair. But here we have, you know, a baby being born, youth, perhaps it's the young Grayson dressed up as his alter ego Claire, and the whole thing ends with a dead man laying on a nice quilt. I feel a bit like a dead man myself by now. It does seem to me that the galleries have not kind of brought in cheaper art or just only things that they think they can get away with. They have brought in massive works, you know, that cost a great deal of money. I always try and encourage young artists to go to fairs, and they certainly do go to fairs. You know why? Because it's a bit like toilet training. You need to know where your shit goes and where it ends up. Frieze isn't just a financially important event. It's sociologically incredibly interesting, and an enormous variety of people, not just committed art lovers or people who are in the profession visit it, but the general public do too, in their droves, and the queue is building up right across Regent's Park as I speak.